learn a lot of lessons from that win.Their first half performance was poor, lacking rugby intelligence and frankly very disappointing, but in fairness they turned that around very well and rescued the situation with a much better second half showing. The arrival of Owen Farrell was absolutely key in that process. He immediately raised the intensity levels and everybody around him responded, as they always do. The majority of the 80,000 England fans started breathing a bit more easily. From the moment of Farrell's arrival there was only going to be one result, and they won the second half 25-0 against a really talented Japanese side. There was a lot to enjoy about that second half, not least the tackling and defensive work. Japan, it should be stated straight away, covered themselves in glory. They are such a good side to watch. Their passing to a man is wonderful. Their offloading very clever, and we all have so much to learn from them in that respect and in their intensity and passion. Their skipper Michael Leitch produced one of the finest individuals displays I have seen at Twickenham, and if they continue in the same vein, and with a fanatical home crowd behind them, there is no reason why they cannot get off to a good start in their opening World Cup game against Russia. There is no question they can also beat Samoa, and it takes no leap of the imagination to see them producing one very big performance against either Scotland or Ireland. This display will bring a lot of confidence to Jamie Joseph and his coaching team. They are building very well. England, I believe, will be pleased enough because they confronted an awkward situation, mended it on the hoof, changed their attitude and shifted the gears, which is exactly what you have to do sometimes. That was very good and encouraging for Australia next week. It wasn't just Farrell's contribution. Kyle Sinclair was excellent. When he is on his game he brings so much to the table, while Joe Cokanasiga is definitely a talent, and not just because of his power and pace. He has a good rugby brain and always finds a way of contributing. England are well provisioned on the wing, and perhaps he won't start against Australia, but I would like to see him on the bench. But let's not gloss over the first half. It really was poor. They just didn't look right mentally, and I am glad George Ford, Maro Itoje and Dylan Hartley all fronted up afterwards and admitted that it's a tricky one. You think you are on top of these things in training, you hold meetings when you smash the table and warn against complacency, you try to put a bit extra into the warm-up, and then, come the whistle, it's still not quite there. I've been there myself, and it's incredibly disappointing and mystifying when it happens. England also got it wrong tactically in the first half. They wanted to play at tempo, which I applaud, but playing with tempo doesn't mean throwing the ball around in sevens style and going mindlessly, endlessly, wide to the wings. You always have to employ your power game first, especially against a smaller team such as Japan. Eddie joked in midweek that his old side needed to go to a temple and pray. Well, if they did, I can guarantee you the Japanese side prayed for England to play an unstructured, loose game in the first half without employing their big guns up front first. It was manna from heaven for the visitors. Let's face it, Japan should have been more than 5 points clear at halftime. They were 15 points better and will rue some of the missed chances when they perhaps got a bit of white line fever when camped on the England line. England lacked any sort of edge to their game, and what will frustrate Eddie is that only 4 of the starting 15 played against New Zealand last week. This was a new team with a host of points to prove. They should have been incredibly hungry and sharp. For me, the whole England display in the first half was summed up by Danny Care, when on the halftime whistle, England won valuable turnover ball. Instead of looking to use that potentially dangerous backline, he just turned and kicked the ball dead in goal. Give me strength. England were 5 points down and could, albeit undeservedly, have nicked the lead and settled nerves with a precise, clever counterattack not unlike the one which brought the try for Care early in the half. I have no idea why England would be so negative playing in front of a packed house at Twickenham. I enjoy watching Care. He is a cheeky chappy, and when he is hot he causes a lot of trouble. But I've seen him do this before in similar situations. It is not a ruthless winning attitude. Think back to New Zealand and the number of tries they score with the clock in the red before they go down the tunnel for halftime. So the afternoon ended well, but not without alarms, and all is set up nicely now for next week. England and Eddie Jones are in credit this autumn. It's all ticking over quite nicely, but a defeat against Australia would dent that positivity.